I think it's a trout. I just missed something, guys. I got a fish marked. Alright, guys, I just marked a decent looking fish. Got another pretty good mark on my screen, guys. Let's see if it eats. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of All Mouth Bassing. Today I'm up at Monument Lake. I'm about to do some ice fishing with some friends from down in Colorado Springs, and they're already out on the ice. They've been having a little bit of luck. There's all sorts of species I could catch out here. They've already got on some gills, some trout, and some perch today. But I mean, there's pike, there's what else? There's catfish, pike, and I feel like I'm not thinking of a species or two that's also in here. Oh, bass, there's largies in here, and I believe there's smallies in here. And I think there's still one or two. That's not coming to my mind really. But anyway, all sorts of species that are possible. So I'll probably actually get a rod out for catfish too. And hopefully I could get on a cat today. But I'm mostly going to be targeting like the panfish, the trout, the perch, that kind of stuff, the easier stuff to get on. I haven't done a ton of ice fishing, especially in Colorado, so I'm really just looking to catch some fish today. But I ordered this the other day on Amazon, and it came in yesterday. It's the Lucky FF1108-1C. That's the model of it. It's a Lucky or Lucky Laker. I'm not really sure what to call it because the box on it said Lucky Laker, but online the company's called Lucky, and that's what it's called like on Amazon and everything where I ordered it. So anyway, it is one of the Lucky fish finders. This was one of the better, like slightly more professional looking ones. A lot of them kind of look like toys, and I wasn't too interested in most of them, excuse me. But this one was like 82 bucks. It was like twice the price of a lot of the ones they have. And it's actually got a flasher, and it's got a radar that kind of looks like a regular fish finder radar, as opposed to the other ones. Like I said, they look like kind of like a cheap cheesy toy. So anyway, gonna test this out today. Hopefully it works. I bought it mostly for the flasher feature, which I couldn't find any information online about at all. So I'm gonna basically do a review on the flasher and probably the regular fish finder feature too, and see if this thing works. So we'll see about that. But anyway, I'm gonna get out on the ice, meet up with my buddies, and hopefully catch some fish. Alright, Colton just got on a trout right when I got out on the ice.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. That's awesome, man. Oh yeah, Chris and Colton are doubled up. Colton just got a trout. Chris just got, what'd you get, Chris? A bluegill?
Good colors on that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little gill. Hell yeah,
nice
man.
Head on them, on that little, probably a size 12 tungsten.
Nice, man.
Little diamond perch. But, yeah.
Nice little bluegill. Let's go. Awesome, dude. Okay, guys, moment of truth here. I'm about to find out if this fish finder's worth anything. If I could figure out how to work it, that would help too. Alright, there we go. Gotta turn up. I'm looking for brightness, so I could turn that up a bit. I could barely see. There we go. Turn the brightness up about halfway and we're good. I'm gonna turn the chart speed all the way up. I'm gonna turn the sensitivity all the way up because I'm using a tiny jig. I think I'm going to leave everything else pretty much the way I already had it. And I'm going to switch it to flasher mode. And let's drop the transducer in there and see what happens. It says we're in 7.8 feet of water. How deep does it say you're at?
About the same.
About the same? Hell yeah, so that's a good sign. Let's see if it reads my jig.
Oh, that thing will work great. Yeah.
I hope so. We'll see how sensitive it is.
Mode or no?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, it's picking up my, that's awesome. It's picking up my jig.
Go.
All right, that's perfect.
Fish on.
Nice.
Oh
All right. Colton just got on a decent little perch. They don't get too big in this lake, so.
Yeah, they do. Hold that.
Oh, he's a feisty little.
Nice, man. Awesome. Hell yeah, dude. Alright guys, I've got marks on this flasher. The only thing is I can't tell if they're actually fish or if it's maybe I have the sensitivity too high and it's just vibration. I'm really not sure. If it's fish, I've got quite a few marks down there.
Dang, he hit that right on the drop.
Chris just caught another little bluegill.
Not big
Not
enough to
too
eat,
bad.
so we'll drop them.
Yeah.
We're trying to do it.
Is it on? You lost it?
Oh yeah, it's probably pretty good.
Oh man.
Yeah, they got this trout.
Hunter just lost a fish, but he also caught a trout. He almost doubled up. Decent little trout. Ooh, he eyeballed him.
Dang, yeah.
Yikes. Poor thing. Might want to hang on to that for dinner. That thing's jacked up.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a trout.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Decent. Alright guys. My camera was facing a crappy direction, but I just got on a decent little trout. Not too bad. And that was awesome guys, because I was actually having a pretty tough time with that little graph. And it just started working out of nowhere right as this fish came on. So graph seems to be working. Hopefully it continues working. I just messed with the transducer and the settings a bit and it started working better. But anyway, decent little rainbow. Let's get it back in the water. Chris keeps walking up on his dead stick with fish on it that he didn't even know were there. He's got another trout. Well, that trout chewed my waxworm up pretty good, but I'm gonna drop it back down there anyway and see if I could still recycle it. I just missed something, guys. I got a fish marked. It's still there. Hopefully it hits again. Alright guys, like I said when I caught that trout, finally got the fish finder working, and it's actually been working good ever since, so that's awesome. I actually missed a fish and I watched it come up on the radar and everything, and I mean, like I said, it's working like it should. Pretty comparable to like the Garmin Striker 4. I've used that with my buddy Scoop a bunch of times, and honestly it's not doing anything too much different. But anyway, I'm gonna pull this line up, pull the other line up, and follow these guys. I'm not exactly sure where they're going, but they're gonna move to a different spot, so I'm gonna follow them out and relocate, see if we have some better luck elsewhere. Okay guys, let's see if I could get this fish finder to work again. Gonna drop this transducer back in there and we'll see how that goes. Well, it was working pretty good earlier. Now it's doing all sorts of funky crap. Alright, I'm gonna keep messing with this transducer, guys. I'll be back with you if I happen to catch a fish. Oh, I just marked a fish, guys. Give me a sec, bud. I'm marking a fish. Got a little guy, guys. Alright. Check that out. Little gilly. Let's go. Pretty little bluegill. Let's get it back in the water. There it goes. Okay guys, most of that interference actually went away for the most part on my fish finder. It seems like when I first put it in a hole, it has some strange interference and then it like gets used to being there or something. But anyway, I'm still throwing the little jig. I caught the trout in the sunny on. It's just like a little chartreuse in blue. I forget the brand and I don't know the size, but it's got a little gemstone on top and chartreuse in blue. It's tungsten. And I've got a waxworm tipped on it. That's what I've been using. So I'm gonna drop this down there and we'll see if we can get another one to bite. I'll be with you guys if I see another one on the old radar there. Alright guys, I got a fish marked down near the bottom there.
Why'd that bog dude catch the biggest northern I've ever seen at 11 miles?
Holy.
Is this a 12er?
Man,
I can almost like.
that fish lost interest. Alright guys, this fish is back. Let's see if it eats. Oh, on one. Fish on, I think. Maybe. Oh, did I lose it? I missed it. No! Alright, let me get back down there. I think the fish dipped. Man, what a bummer. I 100% had a fish on just there. Dang, dude. Oh, am I on one? I think I'm on one. Yes, nice bluegill. Awesome, awesome. Decent little fish. Oh, floppy one. Nice little bluegill. Nothing too special, but I'll take it. Get it back in the hole. Cool. Alright guys, I got a new little worm on there, a new little wax worm. Gonna drop this back down there, and I think there's actually a mark on the bottom, so I'm gonna drop this down right to the very bottom and hopefully get that fish to come up for it. Oh, am I on it? Yep, got one. Oh, decent one. Another chunker. Alright guys, my best gill of the day, easily. Probably my favorite catch of the day, honestly. Pretty little fish. Let's get it back in the water. Cool. Alright, Chris and I are going to get the old ice hut set up. We're going to stick around for a little while. See if we can get into a little night bite. I don't know how late into the night I'm going to stay, but we'll give it a little while anyway and see what happens.
Later, dog.
Yeah, later, homies. Good fishing. Alright, guys. It was getting cold and dark out, so we decided to come in the hut. I decided to switch that wax worm out and see if I could get a better bite on a earthworm or a redworm, since I was having a lot of marks come right up to the bait and then not actually take it. So that just leads me to believe that maybe they're not interested in what I was putting down there. We'll see. Chris just pulled a nice little bluegill out. It just got dark pretty much, so
That's exciting.
real nice little bluegill.
Exciting to see at night, so that might keep us here a little bit longer.
Yeah, hopefully we get some more marks here. Get on a few more fish. Alright, man, awesome. Alright guys, we've barely really got any hits and hardly even any marks really since we came in the tent here, so I think we're probably going to pack it up and call it a night now. Okay guys, time for the review. Once again, this is the Lucky FF1108-1C fish finder. It's not too bad, honestly. It feels pretty good in your hand. It doesn't feel overly cheap or anything. It's not super heavy, but it's not so light that it just feels like a crappy, cheap plastic thing or anything like that. The other ones, like I said in the intro, were look kind of cheesy and more like toys, some of the lower end cheaper ones that this brand sells. but this one looks a lot better, and it definitely, I would imagine, performs better, because I've seen pictures and videos of the other ones and I just really wasn't impressed at all. Whereas this one, I actually was pretty impressed, to be honest. For a while there, it definitely sounded, I'm sure in the video, like I wasn't too impressed by it because the feedback we were getting. But towards the end of the night, Chris and I figured out that the feedback was actually being caused from transducers from other fish finders. So it doesn't cause feedback on other fish finders, but other fish finders cause feedback on it, unfortunately. So that's one point about it. If you are fishing nearby other people, you might get some weird feedback and noise on the screen, which is definitely inconvenient. It's not ideal, but it didn't interfere with the way the fish finder worked as far as actually picking up fish went and everything, and you could still see the fish and still see the bait moving through the water even with the interference, at least most of the time. So with that being said, one of the other reasons I bought this, other than just finding fish in general, was because this particular model actually had a flasher feature, which turned out to really not be too useful. It kind of worked. It was kind of marking fish, but it wasn't marking them nearly the same way that I would hope or expect it to. So fishing with it on the mode that's like open water mode or whatever, the same way that your Garmin's and stuff like that look, that mode actually was not too bad. I actually kind of like that mode. Oh, actually, one other thing that I did forget to mention, the transducer itself was actually pretty decent. The cord on it was super long, if anything too long, so plenty of length to move it around, do what you needed to do. It connects right into this little port on the top of the fish finder itself, and it's just your typical transducer. It looks like a transducer from any other fish finder you would see, honestly. It's got a decent little hollow plastic float. It did a perfect job floating and everything. I'd imagine it would probably break if you were to drop it hard or anything on a hard surface, but I dropped it lightly a couple times and nothing bad happened to it. I dinged it off the ice plenty of times and nothing bad happened to it. But anyway, so yeah, you guys, as you could see in the video, the graph was marking fish fine and everything, and it just had that interference, which was the main issue. So basically, based on everything I noticed, most of the stuff I just said, I would probably give an honest 1 out of 10 rating to this thing at probably, I would say, 6 out of 10. I would probably take off 2 points for the fact that the flasher didn't work, and that was one of the big reasons I bought it. I was really looking forward to the flasher feature, and that barely worked at all, which, if there's only 2 kinds of graphs on it and the flasher feature's not really working, then, I mean, that kind of kills a little bit of the value of it, in my opinion. But with that being said, the regular graph feature, if I was fishing alone without being near other fish finders, other transducers, it worked almost perfect, like comparable to the Garmin Striker 4. I've used that plenty of times, and the graph on this, actually, I would compare it pretty closely to it, the way it works. It actually worked very well, in my opinion. So that's why I give it the 6 out of 10. One of the other reasons I knock off 2 points, I would say, is because of that interference. The interference is very inconvenient. It doesn't look great on the screen. It's kind of annoying, and it causes you to take a second to notice the fish because you've got all the interference, so you don't really notice the fish mark until it's clear that it's a fish, which it's not a huge deal. It doesn't cause too much of an issue, but it's not perfect because of that. So 6 out of 10, 2 points off because the flasher doesn't work great, and 2 points off because of all the noise and the interference from other fish finders. But aside from that, I would say for $80, $82, whatever it is, I'll put a link in the description, and I think it was like 82 something with some change. And for that price, I would say absolutely worth the price. It marked fish fine. If you're out fishing alone, especially because you won't have the interference from other fish finders, I would say this is a perfect little unit to start out with because it's nice and cheap. It's got a internal charger, so you charge it just like a cell phone. You don't have to mess around with a big external battery and all that crap. It's not a bad little setup for the price at all, and it definitely marked fish and helped me catch some fish. So I'll definitely be using it again in the future. I'm not just gonna, you know, one-off with this, like just use it for this video and never pick it up again. I'll actually get some use out of this, and I'm glad I picked it up. So I know I went on forever about it, but that's pretty much what I've got to say about it. So again, I'm going to leave a link in the description to this, and I'm also going to leave the settings I was using it on, because I think that'll help some of you guys. If you pick this up, I think it'll help some of you guys get it dialed in. I had to mess with it for a little bit to figure out how I liked it working, but I got some good settings set up on it to the point where it was working pretty well by the end of the day. So once I got it dialed, really like this little thing, other than the few issues that I did mention, and again, I'll definitely be using it again. So yeah, thanks for checking it out, guys. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching another episode, and thank you so much for sticking around till the end. That was an awesome day. Nobody got skunked. We all ended up getting on a few fish each, and we all definitely went home happy. It was an awesome day on the ice. I had a ton of fun personally, and I ended up having some pretty good luck with that fish finder. It definitely exceeded my expectations. I really wasn't sure whether to expect it to perform like some kind of cheap toy or to actually perform like a decent piece of equipment, and it did actually perform like a decent piece of equipment to my surprise. So definitely happy about that at the price. Aside from the two little issues I mentioned, really, with the flasher and the weird noise, or whatever you want to call it, the interference there on the graph, I thought it was great. You know, it helped me mark fish. It definitely helped me catch fish, and I'll be bringing it out to use again in the future. So again, just a really great day on the ice, and I'm happy I ended up buying that little fish finder. I wasn't sure if I'd be happy with the purchase, and I would definitely say I'm happy with it, and I would recommend it to anyone looking for one on a budget. So I don't have too much more to say about it. Can't wait to get back out on the ice again, because I've been having a lot of fun ice fishing so far this year. Definitely getting into the sport more this year than I have in the past, so that's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys are enjoying these ice fishing videos, and that's about it. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and I'll see you on the water.